Okay, so once again, good afternoon, everyone. So the topic for this afternoon is about the supervisory leadership. As I mentioned earlier, that is also a leadership style actually. So we have actually three critical supervisory leadership tool for this century and to the next century. No? So to promote someone to a supervisory level, the most common approach is to choose someone who is good at the job and has been both responsible and loyal, no, to the company. So very little thought goes into whether the chosen candidate can actually lead a team of a people, adapt to the change in station, learn the necessary administrative skills, and take on new technology. And there are a lot of entirely new expectations for a supervisor that hourly employees never have to consider. So when you are a supervisor, you are expected to keep up production, respond quickly to your manager's requests, and help the company make money. So that alone is a big enough challenge. At the most basic level, you are responsible to make sure employees all come to work on time and put in a full day's work for a full day's pay. Then add to that the responsibility of having to motivate your team, solve people's personal problems, get everyone to cooperate, and coach people to do new tasks until they are proficient enough to do the same for the others. Okay, so to discuss with us the detailed about supervisory leadership, yes, Madam Nilda, take it away.
Okay. Unang-una po, i-define natin yung supervisory leadership. Ano po ba ito? Ito po, it is defined as behavior intended to provide guidance, support, and coercive feedback for the day-to-day activities of work unit. It is constructed to be collaborative to strive a common goal and translate vision to reality. Ibig po sabihin, kailangan nag-work tayo as a team para to arrive to a common goal. And ang sunod po is, yung about leaders. Yung L stands for let self and others to be comfortable in a place of not knowing and encourage emergent knowledge. E stands for engages with incisive questions and challenges when deemed necessary. Then A allows self and others time and space for reflective practice. D, it deals changes and in challenging situations with positive mindset. And letter E encourages others and motivates self to greater achievement. R reaches out to understand others before seeking to be understood. And letter S supports others to set and achieve goals that benefit both the team and the individual. Well, yung sa supervisory leadership po, this involves anticipating and envisioning a viable future for the organization in working with others to initiate changes that create such a future. Thus, it is designed to be collaborative. Its framework focuses on creating personal connections to meet individual and organizational goals. Yung aspects po of supervisory leadership, mayroon tayong guidance, support, coercive feedback, collaborative, and common goal. Dito po sa common goal, talaga dapat magtatrabaho tayo as a team to reach a common goal by making your plans into action. Dun sa Oo. Hindi ka pa namin tatapusin sa life. Sige, sige. Well, the best leaders challenge the process, inspire a shared vision, enable others to act, model the way, and encourage the heart. Okay, that's all po. Thank you.
Okay, you just stay with your with this presentation. Actually, I'm planning to chat that kindly extend your voice, no? Maybe because I couldn't hear some of your talk, no? Okay, by the way, no? So as what Madam mentioned earlier, no? That of course, as I mentioned earlier, no, based on the topic presented by Madam, no? So this time, no, all this new learning can be overwhelming, and if you aren't trained for it, and most frontline and middle managers aren't, it can be hard to stay on top, no, of everything without losing your mind. So fortunately, there are some tools that can help you get started with your management learning. Of course, the skills required of any supervisory leadership position fall into three categories, right? So, of course, number one is people, no? So, working with people in ways that bring out the best in the team, develop talent, and bring the strength of the team to solve mutual problems. Number two, of course, is the administrative. Functional tools to keep track of things. So, monitor, evaluate, and keep everything running smoothly. So, anyone could come in and know where they fit, no? Then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, technical. So digital and software skills required to function effectively as new technology emerge, no, in this century and the next. So actually, when you begin to work as a leader, you need to know what your leadership strengths are and how you can mitigate for your leadership weaknesses. But how do you find this out? So you can start by first thinking about the things people come to you for, or what do you people ask you about, or what do they remember about you, no? So me personally, no, I work with supervisor who was convinced he didn't have any leadership skills, no. It turned out his crew often asked him to for help with how to do specific, and that he has a good coach. So what he wasn't good at was giving them positive feedback and validating them, but his partner was great at validating people and motivating the team, no? So between the two of them, they could address most of the leadership requirements of the job. The one area where they were both weak was in setting clear expectation at the beginning of the job, because they didn't do that. They were constantly getting angry with team members, so for not being able to read their minds, no? So with them on the expectation piece, and they supported each other on this part by, of course, speaking together with the crews and beginning of the day to set the expectation and make sure they had buy-in. People come to me and actually all the time to listen to their issues and help them find a logical strategy and the starting point to solve the problem. They also come to me when they are in the middle of the transition of change. Diba? Napakahirap niyan eh. And of course, pretty good at motivating people in communication, the vision, and work. Not so good is in making sure all the details are done and not overwhelming the team with too many new ideas. So the most effective supervisor actually, no, had a terrible back problem and consistently told his team that he had a bad memory. So of course, as I mentioned earlier, no, another skills that we need to consider is the people skill. So manage your time and your space so your team can do their job. So once you have taught about your leadership strength, the next thing to tackle is your workspace and your time. So what need to be adjusted in your physical environment so people can get their jobs done. Does a tool crib need to be moved to a move central location? Does your desk uh, need to be clean and organized into a system you won't have to micromanage? Does your computer require some document organizing so you won't waste time trying to find things? So that this will be the consideration, no? Then of course, another skills, no, another people skills is draw the line with your team. It is important, no? So getting your team to know that you are the person in authority, of course, and this is very difficult thing. for new supervisors to do because they feel like they have lost their friendship with of course, and they don't have any buddies in the management side, especially kung mga 5 years 10 years na nag-work yung manager doon tapos dadating kayo papalit kayo, di ba? Yun yung mga ano. So a way to get out of this hole is to make sure you have clearly established in your own mind. So where you are going to draw the line between business and personal decisions. So if you have friends that go back a while on your team, explain to them that at work, you are going to have to make decisions they may not like and that they will not get any special or harder treatment because they are friends. You have to set an example of how you would behave if you were the best supervisor in the world to your team. So that means you don't share things that are too personal, no? That you don't breach confidentiality. If a team member tells you something in private, that's you set a standard for work quality, no? And respect, and that you don't even let your guard down in information situations. Okay, so I think that's it muna for this discussion. Okay? Of course, what I wanted to give you or this to give you the summary of this discussion. Number one, again, find and name your leadership strength and weaknesses. It's very important, no, to summarize, no, to sum up. By asking yourself and other people what you are most often asked to help with. Number two, manage your time and your space for efficiency and effectiveness. And set, of course, the tone in the example for your team to do the same. And number three, know how to draw the management line between you and your team. So be a professional. Aim to be good, role model, and look for new management colleagues and new opportunities to learn. Take action today by choosing one of the options, no? So, ganun lang naman lagi. We are always open, no, for suggestions. We heard their concern, we evaluate, and then later on decides, no? Again, sabi nga, kapag supervisor ka, hindi ka pwedeng mag-decide pag galit ka, hindi ka pwedeng mag-decide pag tuwang-tuwa ka. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.